ค่ะ. And welcome to the next episode of On Thai Time. I'm Candy.
And I'm Vidya.
And we are so excited to be talking to you guys again in the month of March. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of things in store. Hopefully by now you have listened to our review, or not review, but kind of our thoughts about the Disney Raya movie, which we loved.
Right.
Obviously the enthusiasm is spilling out of her pores. But if you have not listened to that, we will link it right above here for you. And do check that out because there was a lot of really wonderful elements, Thai elements that were infused into that movie that that resonated with us, right, that got us excited, and hopefully it'll get you excited too.
Yeah, it was a really fun episode for us.
It was.
Record too.
Yes, we got all dressed up and things. And what is special about March, my friend?
The fact that we don't have any days off is very special.
Why are there no Thai holidays in March? I don't know.
But anywho's, there are also very exciting holidays too. Like this month is National Muay Thai Month.
National Muay Thai Month. Yes, that's right. We're also celebrating National Noodle Month all throughout the month too as well.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, since it is National Muay Thai Month, very important for the Thai culture, being that Muay Thai is our national sport. Let's dive into that realm. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm actually not I don't really know what Muay Thai schools there are, or Muay Thai camps there are in Thailand. So why don't you dive into that for me?
I dive into that. Well, I'm not an expert myself either, but I think that there are definitely a few that really pop out at us specifically. Obviously, you've got your Tiger Muay Thai that's in Phuket that's really famous, and then there's a whole bunch scattered in Bangkok and in other major cities. But one that really drew attention to us was Watthana. If you check out their website, it's Wor, and then Watthana, WATTAHANA.com. And so this was a Muay Thai school camp facility that was started out by two people by the name of Francis and Boom. They were living in Canada, I believe, at the time, and then they moved back to Isan to really start this whole facility to give children and families a sense of empowerment through Muay Thai. And so they've really created a really safe space for these kids. They go and pick up these kids in the village to come and train at the Muay Thai school. And so not only does it give them an opportunity to learn about their culture in Muay Thai, but also to fight as well, to make a little means of money to support their families too. They are currently crowdfunding. If you want to check out their website that will link below, they are looking for funds to help actually build a facility, a home, so that the kids can actually stay on property too. That whole gym and that whole effort is a beautiful element. I don't think there's a lot of gyms out there that really highlight young children and the impact that it gives back to these youngsters. So
it's amazing what they're doing.
Yeah, and they've been doing it for several years now. Another one that you can definitely consider learning about or possibly visiting if you yourself want to participate in Muay Thai and have a place to stay is through Rompo Mansion in Bangkok.
It's a mansion?
Well, so Rompo Mansion is a boutique hotel / service apartment in Bangkok, and they have a part of their facility is actually slated out for a Muay Thai camp, and they are that's the Muay Thai Academy and Rompo Gym, and those who stay at the academy or who participate at the academy can actually stay in the hotel service apartment
really
too.
Cool.
So it's really convenient. It's all in one area in Bangkok.
Wow, dude, you have all the juicy details.
Oh, the juicy! I didn't know they were juicy. But we'll also link as well all of the other great Muay Thai camps too that you can stay at. But these are the two that we really wanted to highlight this time.
That's cool. I know that there's another thing that happens in March for National Muay Thai Month is also the Muay Thai ceremony that happens in Ayutthaya. And I know that you've been there. How is that?
Yeah. So if you think about it, it's not... So this event happens in Ayutthaya, like you said, and it is believed to be the birthplace of Muay Thai, on those ancient grounds during battles hundreds of years ago. And so the ceremony happens there, not just for Muay Thai enthusiasts. you've got to think that anyone who has any appreciation for Muay Thai can come out to it. And I guess you could think of it as that yearly homage retreat where everyone comes out to celebrate Muay Thai. You are giving thanks to the teachers and this ancient martial arts that has been passed down through the generations. You know, there's people from all around the world that were there. There were some matches, but not really modern matches at the time. It was more of like really focusing on the art of Muay Thai. So you saw people with the wraps, the traditional wraps that are kind of like rope-like, and then they had the little rope things around their head. I don't know. I'm terrible at the lingo. I was definitely there, and I appreciated it. I wish I had like a whole dictionary that could break down whatever everyone was wearing, but you really felt like you were transported back in time, and with all of the temples that are around you. So if anyone who does appreciate Muay Thai or has a learning or a yearning for the sport, definitely consider going back. It's usually held mid-March.
So anyone can join.
Right. Anyone can join, anyone can participate. And, you see the art, but then you also have shops that are set up selling a lot of paraphernalia or things, art crafts and things that are related to
kind of like
Muay Thai.
a little Muay Thai festival.
It is. Because they always call it the Muay Thai Wai Kru ceremony, where they actually have the Wai Kru ceremony, yes, but then to think of it as a festival.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a festival, right? I mean, like lights, food, knickknacks, souvenirs, entertainment.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of going back in time, do you know the history of Muay Thai?
Had I known it better, I would have executed that question more successful than what it was. No, I don't know. I believe you, though, did a lot of research about Muay Thai.
Yes, I did, specifically for this episode. So for those of you who are interested in the history of Muay Thai, it actually dates back 2,000 years, and it's also the oldest sport in Thai history. And the first record comes from this 700-year-old scroll called the Chiang Mai Annals. ANNALS.
Yes, let's hope that it's pronounced annals and not
I'm just gonna
something
pronounce
else.
it like that. It's okay.
Yes.
Do you know how to pronounce it?
No, I don't.
Okay, so in 1411, so on the scroll, right, in 1411, it says that two Thai princes fought each other in a Muay Thai match for the throne of Siam.
Ooh.
And from then on, Thais would use this hand-to-hand combat fighting style against Burma during the war. And most Muay Thai fighters actually begin training, even present day, begin training as young as 6 years old for 5 to 6 hours a day for 6 days a week, and start fighting professionally as young as 8 years old. So like you were saying in Watthana, those kids do start out very, very young. And all that work and dedication is to eventually make it to Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok, which is like the
it's like
top.
Yeah, it is. It's the top tier. I mean, there's definitely a lot of big stadiums, but that Lumpini and is it Ratchadamnern? Is that the other?
Ratchadamnern too, yeah.
Are the two major ones in Bangkok.
Right. But how Muay Thai is today did derive a lot from like how it was throughout history. So obviously it's changed throughout all the years, and we're gonna go back a little bit to the different eras that Muay Thai has changed. So, alright, so going back about 300 to 400 years, right, is called Muay Thai ช่วงสืบทอด, which is called inheritance era. That's how I translated directly from that. And at this point, the style of Muay Thai is passed down from UTI and Thonburi, and there's still some wars and battles going on at this time. And Muay Thai was actually a key component for Thai soldiers' fighting style during the war. And when there isn't a war going on, Muay Thai was used as entertainment in really big events like Ngan Wat, which is temple festivals that happen throughout the year. And Muay Thai during this time was actually very dangerous and violent because they fought in a chok แบบคาดเชือก style, which is they didn't have, you know, like the boxing gloves or the padding. They only used the ropes to tie around their.
So wasn't
their
that concept
hands.
really like a fight to the death?
Yeah, basically, like they would soak the ropes in powder, which makes it kind of like crusty. So then when you wrap it around your hand and then you punch someone in the face, obviously it's gonna like hurt and scratch their face. So.
And leave a plume of powder, like, you know, kapow! Yeah, one of those? Is that the purpose?
Yes, I don't know. I wasn't born yet.
Oh, I think I've seen that in some movies or something like that.
Okay.
I purely thought that was for cinematography purposes.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not?
for effect, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, and then the next era was about like 100 years later, is Muay Thai Schools, which is translated to the emerging era. And there was a lot of modernization in the country, change and improvement in every aspect, because there weren't many wars and it was a very peaceful time for Thailand. And the purpose of Muay Thai during this time was mostly for self-defense, for fitness, and entertainment, with many Muay Thai competitions. And this is where Muay Thai became like a solid career path for some fighters, because they could make money out of it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely became something very lucrative.
Yeah.
I heard that, I mean, I kind of read recently that for a winner on a small scale could possibly go home with, what, 2,000 to 3,000 baht for
Mhm.
one winning match, which is really significant. That's almost,
Right.
what, $60 to $100?
Yeah.
Okay, and your next portion. Muay Thai. Sorry, I cut you off. Go
It's
ahead.
okay. Yeah. And then and then 70 years ago to present day, right, is Muay Thai Schools, which is Muay Thai in the present day. The sport of Muay Thai became a business industry, and we built Muay Thai stadiums and imported in new technology to help with training, and we started wearing boxing gloves and all those like protective gear, because Muay Thai initially it was a dangerous sport, right? So
Was it
now we
8
know-
contacts, 8 points of contact
Yeah,
sport?
what is it? Art of 8 limbs or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then in what year? In 1999. That's the
Mhm.
year. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to like figure out the years, because I have the Thai years, because we're 500 years.
5, 4, 3.
What?
The that's the way that I've always calculated it. It's 5, 4, 3.
503.
5, 4, 3.
So we're 543
43 years ahead. So Thailand's living in the future, guys. What is it? Is that like the Buddhist year or something? Putta Sakalat, and then there's Krita Sakalat, and I don't know.
I don't know the story behind that.
I don't know why. On a Buddhist calendar, for all like calendars in Thailand, it's very specific. So this year it's 2,564. And so that's the year, and that's equivalent to 2021.
Yes.
We will get back to you on that, but basically, yes, Thailand lives in the future.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like calculate it. Anyways, it was the year 1999 when the Asian Olympics recognized Muay Thai as a sport to be competed in the Asian Olympics, and now we're just waiting for Muay Thai to be in the
Olympics. Yeah. And when they get there, I think we're gonna win.
Yeah, man.
I hope so. Because
I really hope.
I hope so, because it originated with us. So, but it's okay. It's okay, because you know hockey is in the Olympics, and Canada doesn't win all the time, right?
It's true.
I mean,
it's okay.
It is okay. It's a little burn, but it is okay. It's okay. Well,
that concludes my time travel. Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Well, thank you. Well, I feel very proud to have so many great things come out of Thailand. Muay Thai, you know, and the food and whatever else. But you know, Muay Thai has always been high on this list. As a kid going to Thai school, I used to have to do some Muay Thai moves for PE before we went up to pray in the...
No way.
Yes.
No.
Our teachers would turn on this weird Muay Thai song that would tell us the specific move.
Hold on. I go to the same school as you, but like 10 years later,
Yes.
they did not have that.
Maybe they realized that the students weren't as invested into it because we when they would turn on the music, we would all together be like, because it was really annoying, but it was good at the same time. Like the meaning of the song was very much like put up your fist and hit forward, use your elbows, and it would tell you specific moves, and you just kind of worked out. It's like yoga when the yoga instructor tells you to do different moves. This little tape cassette would shout out moves, and we just did it every morning for about 10 minutes. It got us energized, and then we went up to pray. You missed out. Your generation missed out. Maybe we'll bring it back to high school. Yep.
Well, now that we're done with the National Muay Thai Month, let's move on to another important holiday of this month, which is National
Noodle Month! We love noodles.
Dude, we're obsessed with noodles.
Obsessed.
Every week, we're just like, dude, today's noodle day.
Every day. Every day can be noodle day. Yeah. Every day can, and every month can essentially be noodle month. But noodles in Thailand are definitely, I think that noodles definitely originated from China, right? And, you know, obviously through time and things like that, and the flow of people into what we know as Thailand, there's definitely influences from China and neighboring countries. But for noodle dishes in Thailand, you know, you can have varying kinds. Mm-hmm. There's definitely the noodle soup. You've got the stir-fry version of it. You can also make a yum, which is like a salad version of noodles that's usually made with glass noodles.
There's also different sizes of the noodles. Mm-hmm. And different types, like some may be made with rice and some are made with eggs.
So the variations are great, but the motto is always going to be long noodle,
long life.
Long life. Hence us eating as many noodles as we can. A lot of you may also be very familiar with that famous dish known as pad thai, yeah?
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
It is a go-to dish for a lot of people when they head over into their favorite Thai restaurant. And there is a bit of history for the dish itself, but specifically their noodles, the noodles that are used in pad thai, are very different from the noodles that you would find in like a pho dish or something, right? I mean, size-wise, they might be similar, but I think texture-wise, this specific noodle is called sentan, which means noodle done, and it comes from the province of CHANTABURI in the eastern part of Thailand.
Right. So this noodle was originated there for over more than 50 years ago, and there used to be a factory in CHANTABURI that made sentan. So they're the ones that created it. It was a Chinese factory made from Chinese immigrants. And they eventually all closed down, and then other factories in different provinces started making sentan as well, and they kept the name as sentan. And yeah, and that's where we are today, even though it's not made there. It originated there, and we're still eating it.
We are, and I love it. You can still go into markets nowadays, and sometimes you'll find packages that say pad thai noodles, but you'll know that it's real when it says CHANTABURI noodles, something like that.
Right.
But you know, we're talking about this province.
Right.
This province is actually pretty cool, and it's off the radar for a lot of people. Why is that? Why is that?
I feel like it's kind of one of those off the beaten path provinces. It's definitely popular within Thai people, right? I mean, like, we know CHANTABURI for its fruit farms because they have really, really fresh fruits, and there's a lot of things to do there. They have really good food, and just the overall province has like really unique architecture that you can't really find anywhere else in Thailand. And you were there last 2 years ago?
2 years ago, we were filming. It's like, I feel like we're always filming. We were filming something about Silacha, the hot sauce. And so between Silacha, the specific district where we filmed, From there to CHANTABURI was a couple of hours. So CHANTABURI, in essence, is about 3 to 4 hours away from Bangkok. So you can definitely make it a getaway weekend trip. But if you do happen to go and visit, I would definitely recommend going on the weekends, because on the weekends in the main part of CHANTABURI, there's a little area called Dantabun, where all of the renowned dessert makers from this part of town who have been making desserts for generations come out food stall style, and they prop up their little stands and they make these classic desserts right along the, I don't think it's a river, it's a canal that runs, maybe it's a river that runs through the center of CHANTABURI.
Right, so that area is actually called Dantabun.
Yes.
Waterfront community that's been around for hundreds of years, and it actually received a Asia Pacific Heritage Award from UNESCO for upkeeping the vibe. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, upkeeping the vibe, yes. No, and it's well deserved. When you're walking through there, you really feel the influences from China, the influences from Vietnam, and it's all one big niche community. And it's true that you can see temples there, but also what's really unique is this cathedral that sits at the edge of the waterfront too, called the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception, which for a Buddhist country, it definitely stands out.
Right.
It's huge. I don't know. I had walked past it. We photographed it and we filmed out on the outside of it. There was a service at the time when we were there, so I didn't actually get to go into it. But from what I had seen, it was very, very beautiful. Definitely put that on your list of things to do.
A lot of Thai people are actually excited about this church because it's really pretty.
It is.
Right? They just go to take photos and stuff, but
we're all about photos. We're also all about eating.
Right.
And so what better place than CHANTABURI to mix that? Great places for photos, great places to eat.
So aside from a beautiful church, there are also really, really beautiful temples there. There is a temple that is entirely made out of blue ceramic. It's called Wat Pak Nam Kam Nu. And yes, Kam Nu.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's what the name is?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Look it up.
We will, and then we'll definitely insert photos right here. I've never been to this temple, so I'm sure it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And aside from that, what's cool about CHANTABURI is if you just drive a little bit further into the coast, you can have a beach day. And there is something really cool at the beach is in the middle of the ocean, there is a pagoda that sits on top of a rock.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. It was very cool. Our guide said that traditionally, when it was first placed out there or something, there was a payanak, a giant serpent, that would protect it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
I don't know. I mean, it's still out in the middle of the water. I'm sure it's still protected or something. But
But can you swim there or no?
The water was low enough that you could see where the pagoda stood out, right? But there's a lot of rocks, and then within a matter of hours, the water rose, and the water was really, really rough. So I don't think people necessarily swim out that way.
But is there a beach where you can?
So right where that little pagoda is in the middle of it, there is a small little fisherman village right there.
Oh, okay.
And there is a small beach too. But people really make that journey there to go and pray the pagoda, and then they walk back.
That's really cool. I feel like CHANTABURI is definitely up there on my top 5 of places to visit in Thailand.
What are the other 4?
I don't know.
But you already have the top 5?
That's top 5. I mean, it would be one of the top 5, right? Yeah. But I mean, I don't have that list completed yet. It just keeps changing.
Yes. So you know that it's within the top 5.
Yeah, it is within the top 5. It's definitely somewhere I want to visit.
Well, hopefully you guys get the chance to make it out there too when things start opening up, which gets us to our next thing. we're nearly at the end of this little podcast of ours, but we have a lot of really, really cool things that are still happening. Some big announcements going on. Firstly, another TAT update is that our favorite holiday, Thai New Year, Songkran Thai New Year, is unfortunately canceled for the second year in a row. There are still Buddhist-related activities that are going on. I think that, and you can still have those meals, like those dishes that are specifically served during Songkran, like khao chae and a couple of other things. But the big water fights, the big, what is it? Grouping, I was going to say gatherings, yes, that's the word. Big gatherings of people are canceled, you know, for the safety of obviously for safety. It's okay,
because now you can experience all of the great deals that the hotels and restaurants have during Songkran.
So although Songkran in Thailand is technically canceled due to, you know, safety and whatnot, there's still a way for you to celebrate Songkran here in the States. Our TAT New York office is putting on Spring into Songkran Splendors on Thursday, April 8th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can register. We'll have a link below to register for that as well. The 1 hour experience will take you on a journey live to Thailand to meet with those from Ban Rai Kong King, a sustainable community in northern Thailand. You'll also get to meet with Kun Pat from Patara Elephant Farm in Chiang Mai as well. And you'll learn how to make somtam with Chef Arnold Mint. So I think that's pretty cool.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather be doing that than, you know, watching Netflix or something.
Well, you know, we've had plenty of Netflix time. So if you do have some time to spend with the team, we be sure to click below and register and join our Songkran celebration.
On other news, if you've been following us on some recent episodes, we talked about Klong Ong An, which is Ong An Canal that is in the middle of Bangkok, and it's this a night market that has a little canal where you can go kayaking and paddleboarding and also experience all of the Thai food and souvenirs and all of that knick-knack at night. Yeah,
it's definitely the newest hotspot in Bangkok.
And it's so hot that it received an award. I don't know what the award is. Oh, okay. And it's so hot.
Do that line again.
Huh?
Do that line. It's so hot. And it's so hot.
Okay. And it's so hot that the Klong Ong An renovation project was recently awarded the 2020 Asian Townscape Awards from the UN Habitat Regional Office for the Asia and the Pacific.
Yay, Klong Ong An, good job. Hopefully there'll be a lot more initiatives like this throughout Thailand, and it's great to see a part of the city that has been repurposed for good.
Exactly, because there's so many. I feel like there's so many hidden gems in Thailand that could definitely be renovated.
Yeah, a little vamp up.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Like a little Marie Kondo in Bangkok,
where they throw away stuff.
Well, you gotta throw away some.
But isn't her premise like to throw away and like declutter?
So
there has to be another.
They did declutter.
Okay.
Did they not declutter?
Well, good to the people to Marie Kondo, this little alleyway or this little water canal. And yeah, it is great. That's definitely on my list.
Marie Kondo redecorates too. Okay.
Okay.
She doesn't just clean and declutter. Okay. Trying to make me sound stupid. It makes sense.
It comes natural to you. It's okay. All right, so that's the end of our episode this month. What's happening next month in the month of April, bud?
Well, since next month is Songkran, we're probably going to be talking about some things that you can do that doesn't involve large gatherings and water fights, because there's so much more to the holiday than that.
Yeah, there are. There's lots of cultural things that we wanted to discuss with you. And, you know, I think we should attempt to make some of these Songkran related dishes. It is a very big endeavor. It's
that
not
sounds
easy.
really hard.
We should try. We'll try. And we're going to try with you guys. So thanks for tuning in for this month's podcast. And we are out.
But don't forget
But
to,
don't forget.
to
Yes.
follow us.
That's right. Don't forget to follow us. You must.
Yeah. At Thailand Insider and also on Thai Time because we have our own channels now.
At On Thai Time.
All right. Well, let's close.
All right. Thanks again, everyone. And สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Bye. 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 Doot. 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 Yeah. Yeah.